All right. Appreciate everybody for tuning in to the nation as we begin to talk a little bit about Robert Quinn. Cowboys are close to closing in on a deal, and we already know that we need help off of the front four. One can say this right here, that the Cowboys are in a situation whereas if they don't have defensive front four help, then we may see a team that's degress, and it's a lot of factors. Meaning that if you look at it from this aspect, right? As we look at it from this, David Irvin's gone, right? Randy Gregory, you really can't depend on him. So you're looking at those two parameters there, and then on top of that, D-Law. We already understanding that, hey, we talked about this time and time again. Like, we are all for the players to get their money, but at what cost, right? So they're working on this thing as close to the parameters of the Cowboys, maybe giving up a later round pick. Somebody said like a fifth or sixth, and they were going to pick up the rest of the salary. So that's things that we have to really look at. And let me just go to the big board. You guys know how we do. And the big board was saying that, hey, D-Law want this amount of money. Now, I can say this, if you pair up Robert Quinn with D-Law. If, let's say, for example, if D-Law was like one of those guys and say, you know what? I care more about the Super Bowl ring than the money. I know that I can survive. I know I can live. I know I can provide for my family, food and water, my child and all these things if I was to get paid $17 million. That's a given, right? But there's a measurement contest that's in between players' legs, whereas they don't want to take that low ball cut, right? They're not going to sit there and say, well, I'm going to take one for the team when this will be my first bag. So if he were to say, let's say, for example, he was one of those guys that just didn't love money, right? And he said, okay, just sign me for $20 million or just sign me for $19 million, whatever it is. I want to get this ring, right? Can you close your eyes and imagine if you had Robert Quinn on one side and my goodness, you have D-Law on the other? That would be crazy, right? Savage Time says Taco in a fifth rounder watch. I don't know if they look. Don't be so quick to get rid of Taco. Don't be so quick to get rid of Taco. Remember the film session last night. He plays left hand. Can you imagine seeing D-Law playing on the right side? Name me the sacks that you saw D-Law get on the right side, you see, because he's not a right defensive end. He's a left defensive end. So sometimes when you play to not to your strengths, then you look horrible out there. And I'm not saying that Taco Charlton is a D-Law, but there's nobody in the chat box can say, well, D-Law is going to be a guy that's going to get 14 to 15 sacks a year in 2014, in 2015, in 2016. All of this came about just recently, 2 years ago. So we already knew Von Miller was a dog. It was no questioning that who is Von Miller. There was none of that going on. People knew that coming out of college, Von Miller was a dog. That joker was just a dog, right? People knew that. People knew that Khalil Mack was a dog. They just knew it coming out of college, you know, probably coming out of the womb. They knew for sure what type of player Khalil Mack and the Von Millers of the world. They just knew what was going on with that. But if we look at the stats right here, this is Robert Quinn. He came out in 2011 out of the NFL draft. The Cowboys are set to acquire pass rusher Robert Quinn from the Dolphins, according to Ian Rappaport. And if we look at it from here, the total sacks, productions, what have you, in 2011, yes, he had 5. In 2012, he had 10.5. And then in 2013, he had 19. 14, 10.5, and then the numbers been back and forth since then. But he's been a plus 4 sacks guy every single year. So at the minimum, Cowboys is going to get 4 sacks off of that right end. At the minimum. At the most, you're going to get close to 19. Now, I would say that he probably can rear up the production of 9 or maybe 10 sacks off of that right edge. You kick Taco to the left side, then maybe you can get something. All right, so Rico, well, shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. I really do appreciate each and every last one of you all. And we look at Let's look at these comparables all together. We're going to look at D-Law and Robert Quinn. Now, this is not a comparable like versus or what have you. One goes against the left tackle every game and the other goes against the right tackle every game. There's two different type of categories of players. Normally on a team, hey, you can argue the fact that the best offensive lineman is going to be the left tackle. Do anybody want to put up money or dollars on that? Just look it up. Most of the best teams out there is going to be the best offensive lineman is going to be your interior or probably your left tackle. That's just the bottom line. So with that being said, DeMarcus Lawrence, he got 34 sacks in his luxurious career, and Robert Quinn got 69. Now the games played between the two, let's look at it from here. 64 games for DeMarcus Lawrence, 111 for Quinn. Now this is what I like about Quinn, 23 forced fumbles. That's mean you get in the ball, you're clawing the ball out of the opposition hands, and I love to see that stat, guys. That's force right there. Now, of course, D-Law, he gets around to the edge as well. Nine of them. He even got an INT, which I love too. So both guys can be nasty. You put those two guys together, man. Shout out to the donation to Help Grow the Nation. What we have here, My God Law Nation salute. Antoine Myers, appreciate you, man. Thank you for making the donation to Help Grow the Nation. You know, when you guys make that donation, man, you know how to go. Yes, indeed. So, Cowboy Nation, we got a lot of stuff to really take a look at. We got a lot of things to dive into, especially as you talk about this film and as you look at everything from A to Z. Look, how far are we away from the Super Bowl? I always say this, right? And the farthest way we are been from the Super Bowl is 2000 and way in the 2000s and 11s, probably the 12s. We're close, believe it or not. We missed 2 games away from the Super Bowl last year, right? And if we would have had some interior pressure, then maybe, just maybe, we would have been able to get something done as far as reaching out and making the quarterback pay when they try to throw the ball. This is from Eric Law. Do you trade Tank? That's the thing. You can't trade broken down or damaged commodities. That shoulder deal, that's a major bummer. Some reports out there, yes, it's 3 to 4 months, but it can take for a labrum surgery to be completed. It can take almost 6 months. That's a lifetime in the NFL season because it's so short, it's so small. Malik McDowell could be our David Irving. I heard he passed his physical, so we will see about that too. Guys, I do have this right here. We're gonna put the call-in number, the call-in number if you guys want to be a part of the show, 682-214-4087. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions if you want to give a call in, and we can just go over this all together. What you think about Robert Quinn? What do you think about the Tacos of the world, right? What do you think about the Crawford kid that's inside that want to fight people in the bars, right? The Antoine Barbecue Woods. What do you guys feel about that? Or what do you feel about the the Coverton kid? Now, are all these pieces put together? Because we know for one, we got this in the bag right here. Shout out to you, Joshua Whitlock. We got this in the bag. Papa Rob Marinelli. Anytime that he can have George Salvi or the other kid that went on ahead and got some money, I forgot his name, but if he had George Salvi, Benson Mayowa had 6 or 7 sacks. I'm quite sure that he can make something happen with Robert Quinn. All we got to do is get things in the right perspective. Shout out to you, Mike. Appreciate you for joining in to the nation. But it said brain injury for Malik. I heard, now that was just the stories that I heard. I heard he passed his physical or what have you. So maybe they're waiting for after the draft. That's another way you can squeeze, is to wait after the draft, let that draft process go all the way through. And then after that draft process go through, if you didn't get the guy that you really wanted, then you can fool around and sit back and say, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the McDowells. I'm going to go ahead and take a swing at the Sues of the world. Salute to you, Chris. Appreciate you for tuning in. OKC 4229 just joined in on the Periscope. Appreciate you for joining in to the nation. Quinn 40%, Lars 34%, 1 in 4 of the top 10 defensive edge outside linebackers and pass rush within rates with winning rates. Okay. Shout out you for who's this information who gave it down. Kerry Teagle, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for that information. Quinn will be nice addition with the fire emojis out there. Yeah, I agree. So they close to it, guys. They are close to closing out this deal, and I'm excited about it. I do know that there's some reservations as it relates to Quinn's back. I heard that he had little issues with his back a little bit, but outside of that, what did he finish with last year? He still finished with, let me see if I can pull this thing around. Appreciate you guys. And we're going to take a look at it. He still finished last year. Let me see if I can pull up Robert Quinn's deal there. He still finished with 6.5 sacks. That's not that bad, Cowboy Nation. Why do we need another backer? We already have Gavin one. Say that again, Thumper67. Let me know what you're saying. Flores 22 wants the numbers 90 value. Why did we trade Tank? We didn't trade Tank because you got to have a dancing partner. All right, so let's see what we got here. Really appreciate you for calling in. Let me get my let me see where he at. Appreciate your patience. Bear with me.
Call from
Young Wilson.
What's up?
What's up, Law?
Nothing to it, man. It's your world. I'm just trying to pay rent, man. Talk to me.
How you doing, brother? I'm up from Hawaii. It's Young Wilson.
Yes, what's good, man, with you, man? The first time hearing your voice out here, man, on the nation.
I hear you, man. I'm a big supporter of yours.
Appreciate it, man. Really do, man. Let me do this right quick before we go a little bit further. For those that's in the chat box, let me know if you guys can hear Young, right? It's Young Wilson.
Yeah, man, it's Young Wilson.
Yeah, let everybody know if they can hear you. Yes. So what's good, man? Talk to me.
Well, man, I'm thinking the Quinn trade will be a real good trade for us. Put some leverage on for us for D-Law. Law needs to get his surgery done before we talk more money. $21 million a year is a little stretch for someone that only did 2 years of production. I think we need to keep our homegrown players, which in the past we've never done. We've always been trying to grab free agency, big names, always got them too late. You know, we never got them to the point where they used to be high level. I kind of like where Stephen Smith is, not Stephen Smith, but Stephen Jones is going with basically the homegrown and keeping that going. We just need to keep that going with the draft.
No doubt, no doubt. So there was also reports earlier last night that, and of course it's just a rumor, that they was putting the trade blocks on Byram Jones and as well as the Jordan Lewis. How do you feel about those two guys?
I want to keep Brian. I would probably want to franchise Brian for one more year, see if he can keep doing what he's doing at cornerback. Jordan Lewis, man, he might be a good trade bait. I mean, maybe we get somebody second level better in the safety division. I don't know, man. I think corner is good for us in a long time. We've never been this good. I like our linebackers. I think Sean Lee staying back is helping us. I don't know. I just hope our defense can stand up this year. I think our offense will be finally good this year.
No doubt, no doubt. So, I mean, we're looking at this contract with D-Law. What do you feel about D-Law? I know some people in the chat box saying, hey, man, just pay the guy. Just pay the man the money. And some people are like, man, let him walk. That's too much money. How do you feel about that again?
He got called out by the team by saying, prove it for one more year. He proved it, got 10.5 with a broken labrum. He paid the man. but I think I think he needs to play ball too. I mean, no sense to get $25 million and you don't get a ring. But I also don't think he doesn't get paid less. I mean, that's ridiculous to lowball him at 17.5 what he would have made last year. So that was a slap in his face. But asking for 22 per year, you're not a quarterback, kind of tough to go for that. But I'd pay 20, guarantee some money on the back end, make him happy, team friendly. If not, let's trade him.
Yeah, I heard it's like a bad relationship with his particular, what you call that, the guy that make up all the deals, this agent. Yeah, it's the agent guy. That's where the issue is at. David Cantor. I heard that he was the same guy to represent Landon Collins. Landon Collins got a big bag, right? And
right.
And that's the thing. Sometimes these agents, we fail to realize they get 6%. So they're not going to cut their legs from under their feet as well. And I heard that he also represented the Eric Weddle, and he's supposed to be coming to the Dallas the first time around. But David Cantor kind of like soiled that relationship with Jerry Jones and company. So it could be one of those things where the agent is saying, nah, my client deserves at least a little bit north of what Von Miller is making, and it won't be right for my client, for me to lowball my client. I'm just not going to let this deal go through. And as it relates to money and numbers, D-Law might be like, I just want to play football. But whatever my agent is saying, I'm just going to lean to what he's saying, basically.
True that. What do you think about him only having production in since 2014 when we drafted him? We had 3 years of down year where he was injury. He had suspensions. We stuck with him for 3 years. He popped out for 14.5 sacks. Last year, 10.5. You've seen him disappear in the playoffs. I grant you he got double, triple teamed. But if you're going to ask for Khalil Mack type of money, I think I need to see you the whole game, 16-plus games a year. Not just for 2 years. I need more. You know what I'm saying, Law? I need more. I need more factual numbers on paper saying you're going to be doing it for the next 10 years. Then I think we sign him right now. But 2 years of production and out of 5, I can understand why Jerry don't want to pay.
Yeah, most of the I was listening to, it was a radio station that I was listening to, and they said most of the time when they look at these deals, they spread it over 3 years. They don't do just the 2 years and say, okay, this is where we base the salary off of. This is where we base your fair market value off of. They base it off of the last 3 years that you played with. So the problem is that, of course, we saw that D-Law emerged in 2017. Heck, we got Taco Charlton on this team because of D-Law's inconsistencies, right? He's a left defensive edge rusher. A lot of people saying that he just horrible and trash, which I understand, right? Taco have not hit the quote-unquote breakout season, what have you. I can give Cowboys fans that, okay? I give everybody that. But the problem is, collectively, is that you can't just sit there and say, all right, I'm going to pay D-Law last year when you had nothing to go off of. And then on top of that, a lot of times when you play players too soon, it's another piece of it. They still sit out because they saying, hey, I outperformed my particular salary. Such and such is making this, such and such is making that. Didn't Odell Beckham do that?
Odell did that, but Odell didn't force nothing. You know what I'm saying? He kind of sat back and let the market set itself. I think in this particular instance, he's trying to say he's as good as Khalil Mack. He's as good as any other defensive end in the league, but only for the last year and a half, 2 years. Now, if we got to go 3 years, you divide the 23.5 sacks he's got, divide by 3, you get barely 8 sacks a year. That's not $22 million a year, man.
He'll be in the Trey Flowers parameters. That's the issue there.
We can't overplay for a DN that's going to eat up all our money for the next 3 years, and then he won't be able to play after 3, I think.
That's just how it goes, man. That's how the cookie crumbles, man. Anything else you got on your mind that you want to release out to the nation, let people know what's on your thoughts?
Man, I hear this rumbling about, like, do we need to pay Zeke? Man, we need to pay Zeke. We need to get a defensive tackle. Tackle 1, tackle 2, tackle 3, whatever tech you want to call it. We need to just suck it up and pay that one defensive tackle position. That's one of our weakest areas, and I'm just tired of Jerry and Steven sitting on their hands and not doing nothing about that middle being soft. That's all I got to say, Law.
Well, yeah, hopefully they can figure out something, because one can argue if we had anybody that can collapse to the inside of that pocket and seal off those runs against the LA Rams, maybe, just maybe, they don't beat us by 8 points.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed, man. Really appreciate you for tuning in to the nation, man. Really do, Young Wilson.
Always, man. Always watching you, brother. Keep up the good work.
Salute, brother.
Salute.
What a good call. First caller, man. That was the first caller to the nation, man, in a long time. I did call in about, my first year on YouTube. But I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Anybody else want to jump on in? The number is on the top of the screen there, 682-214-4087. That's where you can join the nation and listening in to nothing but the best. You guys know how that goes, right? All right, so Peter, what's up, man? Appreciate you. Raymond says the last call was stupid. No, let's not do that. Call in and explain yourself, right? Let's see who we got right here.
Call from.
Kevin.
To accept, press.
Kelvin, what's good, man? Talk to me.
How you doing, Well? What up, man?
Nothing to it, man. It's your world now. It's your world as well. What's good?
Man, I just want to say, man, I'm always watching your shows. Even when I'm at work late night, early in the morning, I'm watching your shows. I appreciate your content. I appreciate how you never really get mad at the fans for speaking their opinion. But my whole thing with this DeMarcus Lawrence, he got to be out of his mind if he thinks he worth $23 million, man. He only came on the scene for the last 2 years.
That's what Young Wilson was saying. The last 2 years.
I know. I was listening to him last 2 years. And my thing is, I'm not going to, I understand that you putting out your content, but I'm going to say it for you. He's not worth $23 million, man. He's not. You're going to take up half of our cap money for you to have a bum shoulder and want $23 million? My thing is, I'm with you. When you put out that whole film about Taco last night, I'm with you. Move Taco to his right position. I watched Taco. I'm a Michigan fan. I watched him in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Move him to his right position at the left. Let Robert Quinn stay in the right and trade DeMarcus Lawrence for something, because ain't no way in the hell we got to give him $23 million. And you just started producing for 2 years. Like, you was hurt the previous year. You got suspended for that for PEDs. And you really wasn't producing. So how after 2 years now you think you worth Von Miller and Khalil Mack money?
Man. Now, I don't know if this more if his agent talking or this is really D-Law talking, right? About that $23 million.
That got to be D-Law talking, man, because he could go right up to Jerry and Steven and tell them, look, man, listen, I'll take the 19, I'll take the 20. I'll take that. He could go tell him. He know where they offers that. He go tell him. But we don't need this as a Cowboy base. We don't need this kind of negativity right now. We got a small window to win the Super Bowl, and we don't need stuff like contract hold. We still got to pay Zeke. Now you telling me that what he doing on defense is equivalent to what Zeke doing on offense? No, because Zeke lead the rushing 2 out of the 3 years he was here.
Sure right, man. So, man, my thing is with this, and it's crazy because every player want that money, but at the end of the day, they look back and say, man, I also want the ring. You can't get both of them, basically.
Right. And my thing is, you still getting paid. It's not like you getting $10 an hour. You're going to be able to provide for your family. You're going to be able to provide for your family.
But it's like this right here, too. You remember Spreewell? Remember he said he couldn't pay for what? He couldn't put food on his family table, and he was getting paid $33 million.
That goes to show you what he was doing with his money. Yeah.
Right. That was old school stuff. Yeah. So
I'm
these how these
35,
players
yeah.
think, man. They look at it like, man, he probably looking at it like, man, Von Miller got that money, Khalil Mack got that money, and my production in the last 2 years is better than theirs. And then on top of that, this Trey Flower kid from nowhere, he got $56 million guaranteed. I know I'm better than him, so I want to get at least $75 million. But of course, it's $85 million now.
Right, but this is the thing, Law. When people become greedy like that, you know what happens when they get that money? They get injured.
Yeah, I ain't trying to wish injury on them, but they do.
No, I listen. I'm a Cowboys fan. I live in Jersey, so I live right 15 minutes away from Giant Stadium. So I got to hear from Giant fans, Eagles fans over here all the time. But my thing is, I like D-Law. I like Tank. But for you to come out your mouth and say that because of the last 2 years you're worth the Lil Mac money, come on, you got to be humble, man.
Yes,
you have to be humble.
And this is another thing too, what Cowboys players fail to realize, and those who like and just go pick up another team. In your rightful mind, right?
Right.
Do you think that Tony Romo would have got that position at CBS if he never played for the Dallas Cowboys?
Never.
I mean, if you just look at that's money that you can make 10 to 15 to maybe 20 years down the line without even picking up another football. I don't know why, to me personally, that these players look at the Dallas Cowboys like, I really want that extra money. Just like Earl Thomas. I understand that was a lot of money that he was able to get, but trust me, if he would have put that silver and blue on, man, he would never have to buy a ham sandwich, anything that's in the Dallas area. I'm for real.
Oh, I feel you, man. Yeah, but they forget that. They don't know that wearing that star in your helmet is going to make you legendary. But they don't understand that because the media talks down about the Cowboys so much that people forget. When you're wearing that star on that helmet, that means a lot, man.
Man, it does, man. So any other thing, man, you want to bring to the table, man, before I let you go?
No, man, I just like to say, man, listen, I think Stephen Jones might try to trade him. That's all I'm saying. Jerry Jones will give him whatever he wants. But I think Stephen Jones is not having that. Because Stephen Jones still know we got to pay Dak, we got to pay Cooper, we got to pay Zeke, we need offensive linemen. So he's looking at this in a big picture like, look, let's trade for Robert Quinn and see what we can get for D-Law. That's about it.
Yes, indeed, man. Hey, that sounds like some good stuff, man. Appreciate you for joining in to the nation, man. Salute, bro.
Yes, sir, Law.
That's what I'm talking about, Cowboy Nation. That's what I'm talking about, man. People calling in. Man, we talking about football players. We talking about contract. We talking about what Robert Quinn can do for the nation. Man, it could be lights out. The number is at the top of the screen. 682-214-4087. We got another number for the nation.
Call from
Space Cowboy.
Space.
What's up, fam? What's going on, man?
Nothing to it, man. Trying to get to it. For those, let me just say this, man. For those who out there who love the little new photograph that I got of myself, all digitized and all, what do you call it? Cartoonalized, animated.
Animated.
yes. I got it from Space, man. With Space know the connection for that beautiful profile picture that I got, man. But talk to me, man. Tell me what's on your mind, man.
No, man. I just got done doing my last year about the whole Robert Quinn edition. I think, and my whole point from this, and any other Cowboy fan that can think about it, don't look at this as a tank replacement just yet. At this point, he is your Randy Gregory replacement, assuming Randy Gregory never comes back. He's your Tank Lawrence insurance policy, worst case scenario, if things don't work out. Right? And I want Tank to get his money. Don't get me wrong. I've gone out and said I don't like the way he's going about it. I think his agent's in his ear trying to get as much money as possible, which, hey, that's what an agent's supposed to do, man. I understand he's supposed to do his job, and I don't really like how agents do their jobs sometimes, but, hey, I understand that's what they got to do. But listen, man, I think the biggest thing for me, and I kind of had to think about this because I talked to other Cowboy video makers about it, and there was a point that was brought up about, remember when we signed Romo and Dez to those long-term deals, and then they
Yeah.
had their injury history? We were patient with them, right? Right? We gave them time. So people are complaining, and it's a reasonable complaint. Oh, he has a torn labrum. Oh, that's bad. Oh, he's got a bad back. So we can be patient with those guys, but we can't get patient with Tank. Now, I will say this. Yes, they are completely different positions. They had completely different routes of getting their money. I understand that. That's a valid point. But my thing is this. If we're not willing to be patient with, especially, like, for example, because this reminds me a whole lot about the Dez situation, right? Because Dez wanted to get his contract. Cowboys didn't give it to him immediately. It took until probably July, I believe, until they got that deal done. And the rest was history. Dez didn't really, other than 2016 and possibly 2017, he really wasn't that top guy anymore, whether the reasons were there to be there or not. So
but let me put this in. Let me put this on a lot of people's mental when we talking about the Tony Romo situation. When Tony Romo was not on the field, what was our record? Anybody in the chat box? 4-12, right? Mm-hmm. When D-Law was not on the field, it was in 2014. What was our record?
Oh, 12-4.
All right. And when D-Law wasn't on the field in 2016, what was our record?
13-3.
All right. So, I mean, this is the thing. It would have been a different story if it was 3-13 without D-Law and we was like 4-12 without D-Law. And I'm not saying, hey, you take D-Law at his $23 million and you throw it out the window. But what I'm saying is that this team is capable enough of winning without D-Law, without seeking all of that money into one side of your table and letting that table tilt over. My thing is I want D-Law to get that bag so bad, But at $23 million, $85 million guaranteed, we're going to have somebody that's going to get rid of that's beneficial to the team, whether it be a Byron Jones, whether it be a Jalen Smith, you're not able to extend him, or whether it be not being able to extend the running backs of the worlds like the Ezekiel Elliott's or signing a Dak Prescott. The way this team win is going to be flat out balanced. Now, I understand some of our fans are on the high stream saying that Tank Lawrence is trash. And I'm not thinking that he's anywhere close to that. And I do know that on the other spectrum, or the other side of the table, that they kind of like what you're saying. Hey, just pay the man the money and we'll figure out the rest. But go ahead and go into details of your point there, though.
No. Listen, man. No, and you are 100% right? I agree with you. That's why when I brought up the point of with the Tony Romos and the Dez Bryants of the world, like I said, they're not. You can compare, but they are nowhere near the same situation. I completely agree with you on that, and I agree. Yes, this team has proven that we can win without D-Law, right? And we've seen in the last three postseason trips we've taken, right, that the biggest focal point, well, other than probably 2014, more so the two more recent ones, was our defense let us down when we needed them the most, right? So I think that when you look at Tank, this is how I would view it. Like, we're both in agreement. We want Tank to get his money.
Right.
We just, yeah. And I think that when we look at it, we can win those games without Tank, right? But I think, and it's not that I don't think Tank can do it, it's just he hasn't proven to show up of recent in the playoffs, right? Like, I don't remember the last time he made a pretty good impact was in 2014, right? So I think that the Cowboys, if they deem it necessary, hey, we're going to trade him for a pick. Hey, I don't have a problem with that because I trust this front office in doing what they're doing. And I think that with D-Law, he just adds another element to that. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what's key. We can win without him. I just think he adds that whole new dynamic to the defense when he's there.
Right,
but
right. Because somebody can argue the fact that, and I'm seeing Vic Damone that's in the chat box, and hey, how can you compare 2014 and 2016 to this current team? And I understand what he was saying, because in 2016, one can argue if we had any pressure to Aaron Rodgers, maybe, just maybe, that score wouldn't have been the way it was, and maybe an extra sack or extra fumble, something would have changed around, and maybe we would have won that game in 2016. And then, of course, 2014, D-Law played that game. But the thing is, the way teams win it is balance, and that's my only battle cry, because do you have off the top of your mind of any other team that paid $100 million to a defensive edge rusher that won a Super Bowl within the last 5 or 6 years? Do anybody know anyone? The Broncos?
The Broncos.
If
you count Von Miller as a defensive end, if you count him as a defensive end, then yeah.
Did he get his bag? Did he get his bag after that year, or he got it before that year? They paid him that big contract.
I don't know. That's.
I think he was still on his rookie's deal at that point.
That, or he had an extension, but it wasn't that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's crazy when you look at it all together. When you look at it like, man, I said the same thing about quarterbacks. When you pay the quarterback that big bag, then all of a sudden they fold up like lawn chairs. The only other quarterback that made it to the big dance, they got that big money, was Matt Ryan, and that was the last quarterback that made it at least to the Super Bowl. But outside of that, man, it's like if you don't have a balanced team, then you might not get to the playoff deep. You may not get that run.
No, and I get what you're saying. I think that it's important. And listen, the Cowboys are taking this into deep consideration about what's going on. Like, okay, are we going to throw money at this guy? Oh, are we going to throw money at this guy? Because just so you know, and I'm not sure and I understand it's way too early to look at 2020. Cowboys are projected to have about $106 million next year. And again, before people freak out, oh, that's a lot of money. Listen, and I don't know what the cap's going to look like. That's just right now, right? So, and hey, if they want to keep Tank, that's fine. Like, I don't care. But my thing is that if that cap number stays the same, and I know that there are people that are coming up for their they're coming up for their contracts, even that's the case, you have $106 million to work with next season as of the projection that they're putting in. And don't take what I say with a grain of salt, because I don't know the final number until next year. But if that's the case, we'll be able to sign a good majority of our guys that we want to keep.
Yes, indeed.
But just because you have that money, don't be pressured. And I think we're in agreement here. We don't want to pressure them to give them a player a deal that can hurt them in the long term, like you see what a lot of these teams do in the first day of free agency. They just throw money just so they can get the player, not thinking, oh, is this player going to play out their whole contract? Are they going to do, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like when I very first saw Eric Berry's contract, I said, hey, he would never play through the end of that contract. And now he's out there on the market. Mm-hmm. Just as well as you can say with Khalil Mack, when you look at that $141 million, $90 million guarantee, he's not going to play that entire contract. And and then on top of that, Victor Moan, he did say he did put out there, and I love when everybody do their homework and they bring out to me like the facts, and I love facts. He brought up the fact that Fletcher Cox, I think he got a big deal, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So when you talk about that, and I mentioned this earlier on a stream before, or it could have been on my Instagram page, Space, is that if you go ahead and pay D-Law the $23 million, right? Let's say the Cowboys said, okay, we're going to go ahead and pay him the $23 million. We're going to go ahead and give him $140, million stretched out over 6 years, $23 million a year. Then what it does is ultimately make your window small. Meaning that you got to win that Super Bowl within this year or next year. Outside of that, you up the river, just like the Eagles are in certain parameters. Because you got to win, you got to strike it right then and there, and you got to say to yourself, now I got Robert Quinn, now I have D-Law, now I have my draft picks, and I have Jalen, and I have LVE. We're just going to go ahead and try to win the Super Bowl now. That would be the philosophy if you go ahead and pay D-Law the $23 million.
Mm-hmm. And I'll end out on this, right? So, like I said, I know the Cowboys are projected to have that much money, and I'm not banking them on signing all their players, because obviously there are going to be players that they keep, players that they don't keep, and they're getting pretty big, hefty deals. So I'm not expecting that. Like, they're going to have a ton of, because of how big it is, they're probably going to have a ton of players going up for free agency. But knowing the Cowboys, they're probably going to sit there and they're going to be like, okay, and this is what they're probably thinking right now. Okay, we see what's coming up in 2020. We see these guys coming up with these deals. Who do we throw the bag of money at? Who do we not throw the money at? Yeah.
Let me see here.
I don't want to go. What's up?
No. You let me know who they should throw the money at. Now, I think that I smell another franchise tag coming around next year, and it may be to the quarterback. It also may be to the running back. And what it's going to look at, Ezekiel Elliott may not be the happiest camper if they don't go ahead and pay him at least Le'Veon Bell's money or Gurley's money.
Okay, yeah, I definitely could see that. I would say, and I think I agree with you there. I think that as of right now, I think they want to give Dak his money, but I think they're like, well, we want to take advantage of his rookie deal for this year so that we can try to make a Super Bowl push. And if in the event that we managed to go there, or we managed to by some miracle get there, and then not like it's going to be a miracle because this team can do it. If we get there, okay, cool. They're probably going to throw his money at him. But if they fail to get there again, let's say they go into the playoffs and they lose in the NFC Championship or the divisional round, don't be shocked if they're like, listen, Dak, we want to give you your deal, but we're going to have the franchise tag you for this year just so we can get some of our guys back, and then we'll give you your money. That's what I can definitely see happening. I don't think they'll franchise Zeke because Zeke's still on his deal, and he does have a fifth-year option. So, but if it gets to that point, I would not be shocked if Zeke held out. But as of right now, I don't see any sources. I don't see any news outlets. They reported he might, but I haven't heard anything in regards to that right now. And we'll see what happens. I don't want to go on for too long and take up your whole time, man.
No, man. You've been laying the fire down, man. Just let people know where they can go and find you and all that good stuff, Dan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you, bro. So if you guys want to, if you guys really care, you guys could sub up to me at Space Cowboy on YouTube. I'm on Twitter at Space_Cowboy_17. Obviously, people have had questions of how to get their faces animated, just like Law and mine. So if you want to, just DM me or just tweet at me, and I'll hook you up. See what we can do. So yeah, man. Great conversation, man.
Yes, indeed, man. I always love the conversation for the nation, man. Continue doing your thing. Continue to grind and shine, man, and get yours out there. And hopefully, Cowboys Nation, we'll be at the Super Bowl. It'll be tears of joy. And if we can not get don't you still got that replicate Super Bowl trophy?
Oh yeah. For those that don't know, you know. For those that don't know, I bought a replica. It's a small replica Lombardi trophy. It says Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl champions. I made a promise to myself. Okay, I'm not opening this thing until we win a Super Bowl, because then I can display it as all I want. Listen, man, that box has not been opened since last year or last 2 years. I'm staying true to that. Man.
Stay true to it, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. Salute, brother. Appreciate
Maybe this is the year. Yeah.
This is the year, man. We're going to be hosting that Lombardi trophy. Let's go, Cowboy Nation.
Yeah. All right, Law. See you later.
All right, salute, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Good call from Space, man. Check his page out, man. And the young phenom, man, been following the Cowboys. Let me stroll up, man. I think I saw somebody make a donation to help grow the nation. Antoine, appreciate you, man. He says, only elite players since the day of Ezekiel Elliott. If we lose D-Law, can we count on Dak to run up the board? Defensive stops, D-Law brings that heat. D-Law brings that heat, basically. So he was saying that D-Law brings the heat, and he's the other elite player that we have on this team. It's crazy because when we're talking about this right here as it relates to defensive players and elite players, look, we can find an explosive guy in the draft. Let's say, for example, if a Savage fall to us, right? Well, let's say, for example, if all of a sudden somebody else step it up, somebody that we just didn't see. In 2017, nobody knew for sure that D-Law was going to be the guy to step it up, and he did. He did his deal out there, and when we see the growth factor within his skill set between from 2017 until now, asking for Von Miller type of money, asking for Khalil type of money, in which in the last 2 years, there's nobody that can pull up stats and evidence saying that D-Law is far, far apart from those guys as it relates to stats. Now, of course, $23 million is a lot of money, and like Victor Moan said, Fletcher Cox, he got paid his big money. The Eagles went on ahead and won the Super Bowl. They had that small window. Now, are the Cowboys limiting themselves to that window? Let me know. Post your comments and your thoughts down below. Do you think that if Cowboys go ahead and pay D-Law this $23 million, $85 million guaranteed, or whatever it may be, will the Cowboys stand a better chance of winning the Super Bowl within the first year or two with that particular salary range? Or will they be digging themselves a bigger hole like they did with the Tony Romo contract and the other contracts that we are paying off, like the Miles Austins and the what's the other guy, number $55 million, $50 million, Brandon Carr. So it could be back into those same holes. Or would you like to just slow ride this thing and do it like the other teams been doing it with the free agencies, pick up one or two guys and then went from there? Got another caller in. Let me clear my throat. Appreciate you guys. Let me see if I can get this one in.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
What's up, 214? State your mind.
Hey, Law Mason.
What's up, man? Talk to me.
This Tristan Patterson, man. I'm calling out of Dallas. Big time Cowboy fan.
Yes, indeed, man. How long you been following the nation, fam?
Oh, man. I've been watching this with my best friend was watching. He was like, man, you need to, he was like, man, you need to go ahead and follow the nation, bro. He be kicking knowledge.
Appreciate it, man. What you have for everybody that's in the chat box and people that are watching your screen today? What you have on your mind? What's on your mental?
Oh, okay. Well, everybody been talking about this DeMarcus Lawrence contract. And I'm gonna say it like this, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's a good player,
and
he does what he needs to do, rushing the quarterback and getting big time sacks, and stripping the ball and getting fumbles for us, and that's cool. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it seems like every time Jerry Jones pay his players big money, they always end up with injuries. So he kind of got that in the back of his head now.
So you thinking that Jerry Jones is saying to himself, man, I'm snake bitten. When I pay players, they fold up like lawn chairs.
Yes. So it's like if I paid DeMarcus Lawrence just $23 million a year and he started getting hurt, I'm stuck with him. So to trade for Robert Quinn is good because the Dolphins agreed to pay some of his contract.
Yeah.
So if we get Robert Quinn, now we can sit back and see what can we get for DeMarcus Lawrence, because you can take that $20 million back and get some key players and pay some of your players. Because if you give him $23 million a year, somebody gonna walk. Zeke gonna walk, Cooper gonna walk, Jones gonna walk, or Jada Smith gonna walk. Somebody gonna leave the Cowboys if you give him $23 million. That's like paying Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's doing his thing. He's getting 22.5 sacks up the middle.
True that.
He's repping the run and the pass.
Yeah. I mean, he's disruptive player playing inside. You guys know I love when a player defensive front can play inside and out, and with that type of pressure, man, this is everything. But what helps the Rams out is that they already paid Todd Gurley, and they went on ahead and paid Donald. They don't have to pay Goff yet, and they've been picking up sparing players like to play like for 1-year contracts. Like they picked up on a rental for Sue. So the Cowboys probably can go with that model because we have yet to pay Dak Prescott nor Ezekiel Elliott. So that window is only, 1 or 2 years. And outside of that, I think that the Cowboys are waiting, and this is just my thoughts of 2020 season. They're going to wait and see what Carson Wentz is going to get paid first, and then they'll try to make an offer for Dak Prescott based off of what Carson Wentz got paid.
Yes. Well, I can see that. Now, if you pay Dak Carson Wentz money, and you got D-Law up under Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack money.
All right,
Some of your pieces are gonna walk.
Hey Patterson, people saying that they can hear your background music, man. Just turn it down a little bit so that they can hear you clearly.
Okay.
All right, talk to me, man.
Yes. Now, somebody gonna walk, because you paying 25-28 at the quarterback position, and you got $23 million at one spot on the defensive line. What kind of money you gonna have for Zeke? What kind of money you gonna have for Cooper? What kind of money you gonna have for Byron Jones? What kind of money you gonna have for Jalen Smith? Who you gonna be able to get in free agency to put at the one technique that's really gonna help the line? Now, if you do that, now you're back in the Romo and Dez Bryant situation, because their contracts were so big, it was hard for us to get good players.
True that, man. It's a conundrum. As I look at it, whereas you homegrown you home grow your guys, right? You do all of the deals where it takes to develop a person. Then all of a sudden, that person elevates themselves, and now it's time to pay them, and you don't have nothing to pay them with because you got a $188 million salary cap. I believe that the NFL should change up their rulings as it relates to salary cap on players that you drafted. I think that it should be like a 30 or 40% off or what have you. I know it sounds kind of crass, but that's probably be the better way, that 30 or 40% of their salary, whatever you sign them to, don't go against the cap. Because as it relates to this, all you're going to be doing is turning over players. And as Cowboys fans and as Jerry Jones, everybody know that we fall in love with players. And the players want the best amount of money. And trust me, D-Law probably in the hearts of heart, I don't know his circumstances. He probably say, well, hell, I will pay for $17 million. But his agent and the NFL Players Union are going to be like, man, you can't scoop that low because it's going to throw off the market. You got to get paid for what your last 2 years were, or you got to get at least up to $85 million or $75 million, whatever it may be. So it's crazy in a sense, whereas these players are being used as commodities. But that's just how that's how the reality is, you know. But
right.
That's how it got to go, fam. So what else you got on your mind, man?
And I was thinking about the draft.
Talk to me.
Now,
defensive offense.
Well,
with the 58 pick.
I go defense. If you can find the best one technique at number 58 that's left on the board, you got to get them, because you never had it. You never had that defensive lineman that can hog up two offensive linemen at one time, that allow your outsides to get around the edge quicker and more easier that they want to.
Man, you speaking my
language
language now, man. No, you speaking my language now, man. Talk.
Woods is good, but he's good at a 3 technique. They had him at the 1, which was kind of throwing him off. But you put Woods at the 3 and let him do what he do, and if the guy from Clemson that nobody is talking about, I can't think of his name right now, but he's like 6'4", 350. If he falls to you at 58, you got to snatch him.
In the chat box, y'all put his name down. His name is at the tip of my tongue, too. I think it's with a W or something. It's Christian something.
Yeah. Now, if you get him and you got Quinn, if Law stays and you got him on the outside, got Quinn and Law on the outside, it should be a long day for a lot of offenses. And
and push that pocket back. Yeah, you're talking about Dexter Lawrence, and I think this other guy you're talking about from Clemson. Is it Christian? What's his Wilkins or something like that? But if we get Dexter Lawrence, man, that would be nice. Man, that would be. I'll just turn back for flips, man. The guy's fast and quick inside, and man, he'll just be all type of craziness for us for that. I guess hot boys, LVE and Jalen Smith would love it. They would love it.
Yeah, because you got the linebackers who could cover sideline to sideline. That's you ain't got to worry about the middle section of the defense, the linebackers from sideline to sideline. They got that. And you got one of the best cornerback tandems in the game in Uzier and Jones. So with their cover skills, it's going to allow the defensive line to do what they do best, and that's harass quarterbacks.
Man, you talking the truth there, man.
And that's all we need is that one big body technique. They can hog up a center and a guard, or can cause trouble for a guard and a tackle, and allow that edge rusher to shoot on around there real quick. That's all we really missing on defense.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from my brother from another mother, man. Man, really appreciate your insights on the draft, man, on who we should go with the 58 pick. Really appreciate that. Anything else you want to get off on your mind, man?
That's pretty much it, man. I just hope in the third round that Paris Campbell's still there. We can get that young explosive talent with Dak Prescott and Zeke and them out there. And, going to run up the scoreboard. So, so our defense can go ahead and close the game for us.
If we get that Paris Campbell kid, and we look at everything from that perspective of what Randall Cobb can teach him and what he can pick up from Randall Cobb, and also, I guess if you look at it from Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup, boy, we be loaded on. Boy, it just be too much weapons out. Too many weapons, man. Appreciate you for calling in. Oh, Ezekiel Elliott would love it too. Ohio State.
Oh yeah, because now if you get Paris Campbell, now you got to pick your poison. Who's you gonna double team? Gallup, Cooper, Paris, or you gonna put 8 in the box and try to stop Zeke? Now you got to pick your poison.
It'll be more of the Eagles team talking about, hey, is it legal for you guys to have this lineup out there? We petition that you guys not play us at our,
We want to do a investigation on the Cowboys draft board.
Investigation. They be calling Will McClay a cheater. You know how that goes, right?
Oh yeah. Because we draft good. That's what a lot of the nation don't understand. Will McClay draft players, and you be like, who's this guy? Before you know it, you churn his name.
You already know, man. Hey, man, appreciate you for calling in to the nation, man. Really do, man. Call in at any time, man.
No problem,
next time I go live, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you.
Salute, brother.
All right.
Yes, indeed, man. That's a good call there. Let me see how long I've been live on this thing, man. Really appreciate you guys. I love the call-in feature. I love also reading your comments and listening in to you guys, calling in to the nation. Who else we have here before we let me see who else we got right here. Oh, boy, I'm telling you. 520. Let me see what we got.
Call from
Dave Alexander.
Good call there.
My brother from another mother, no other. What's up?
What's happening? It's the Stelios 300 Cowboys.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Talk to me, man.
Huh?
Talk to me.
Yay. Christian Wilkins. That's who you're talking about.
Wilkins, yes.
Out of Clemson. Yeah, that 6'3", and let's see. Well, let me look here. I pulled him up here real quick.
Look at that, man. My God, Stello's got the education for the nation, man.
Yeah, like I said, okay. Right here we got Wilkins, 6'3", 315 pounds. Damn. Showed he can wreak havoc on quarterbacks, 16 sacks, 40.5 tackles for loss in 4 seasons.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this
right
here.
All right.
If you're the GM for, like I say, you're the GM for 2019 for the whole entire year, Jerry Jones reach out to you and say, hey, I just want you to be the GM. What would be the first move you do, and what would be the several moves that you do for this Cowboys team for heading into 2019?
Well, I don't see paying Law no 23. I don't see that. 21.5 for 6. 21.5 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
The guaranteed money, I don't know, maybe somewhere around 70. But as far as that, if he wants to sit out, that's on him. But we still got to have that edge rusher. They're working on Quinn, getting him in. So Quinn on one side, D-Law on the other side. Match made in heaven. Now we need somebody up there in the center, and like your last caller was talking about that one tech. We've never had a one tech, and that would complete that defense, that defensive end, that defense.
Oh,
that defense.
You sound just like me, right?
Yeah.
Just educate the nation on who Russell Maryland was. Just tell everybody about him, Dan, and what he was able to do in the '90s for our Cowboys team.
Russell Maryland was a monster. He can get inside, outside. He's getting to the quarterback. That's his. That's his whole sole purpose is to get to that quarterback. And anybody could tell you about it. Eric Williams could tell you about it. And Eric Williams is kinfolk, so he's one of my cousins, along with Dwayne Hatcher. So Eric Williams can tell you what's going to be. Eric Williams, can tell you what's up with Russell Maryland, and them picking him up, that was just like the cornerstone for that defense in the '90s.
Because he would never get the glory. Nobody would never bring up his name because he don't have the stats, and that what rules the nation now. The stats.
Yeah, that's the thing, and everybody gets caught up on stats. Stats are good, Stats are good, but its performance is what counts. It's what you do out there on the field. No matter what your stats are, it's what you do out there on the field, what you bring to the team on the defense, what you bring to the team on offense. And you can't be worried about how much money you're going to make and who's making more money than you. It's about, you can't make it about you all the time. It's got to be about the team. Team first. The same thing with Michael Irvin. Team first. He was about the team first. Him second. It was about the Cowboys first. And you still see he's out there barking.
He's barking
Loud and strong for the Dallas Cowboys. And anybody that doesn't believe in what Irvin stands for, and doesn't believe in what anybody says in the Cowboys nation, hey, there's 31 other teams you can go to. Take yourself on.
Yes, indeed,
you want to hate, you can love them and hate them. It's America's team. They've been hating us since 1960, since the inception, 1960. So we're used to it. But as far as what's going on with D-Law, if he wants to get paid, he's going to get paid. But he can't be asking for all this crazy money. And I'm thinking it's on more or less on on his agent side.
Yeah, because I heard news out there that the agent had bad blood with the Cowboys front office. Even with the Landon Collins deal, he stepped into that.
Yeah.
I heard he muddied the waters from that. I think that we were close on closing that deal. And then with the Eric Weddle situation, he kind of muddied the waters with that when we were trying to get that safety. So that guy, what's his name, David Cantor?
David Cantor or something like that. So
he's muddying the water up. He's making sure that, like, hey, I can't stand them Cowboys. I'm going to drive up the price.
I'm going to drive up the price. I'm going to get paid. I'm going to make sure he gets paid, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to get paid because I know Jerry got the money. I know Jerry's going to write that check. But now he'd be a little bit more frugal because he learned his lesson back in the early 2000s, bringing in Roy Williams and bringing players like Roy Williams and bringing in players like T.O. And then even when he was even more debauched, when they're bringing in washed-up jokers like Testaverde and Leap and all them.
Can I just throw in
the list goes on.
Joey Galloway for 100?
Joey Galloway paid way too much for him and still didn't get nowhere. It's still getting, just stupid decisions and, rash decisions, drop it hat decisions. That's what Jerry was doing. Now Steven's more in control. He's starting to back him off, and now they're starting to be a little bit smarter on these contracts and restructuring contracts and paying players their worth, but not going out into orbit paying them. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, indeed, and the way this team got to win is through balance.
It's balance. Just like I was saying it's got to be balanced, and just like I was saying yesterday, it's Lombardi Trophy or bust. That's what it's about right now. Not wait until 2020 and 2021. No, we need to win now. Now is the time to do it. And the moves the Cowboys are making are smart moves. They brought in Cobb, they brought in Aloka, they brought in, they're getting Quinn in here. They bought that Heater guy, the Heater from Detroit
Mm-hmm.
is starting to try to put the pieces together and trying to get this defense shored up. And they damn sure need to shore it up, excuse my language,
No, you're
in the
good.
middle, because you've seen what the Rams did, and the Rams just took a page out of what the Colts did to them weeks before. Run up the middle.
Run it up the gut.
Shoot up the middle.
Trap
You don't got to
block
get on the
D-line.
outside to the
Yeah.
left or right. Just run down their throats. So, well, the Colts just did it all game. We're going to do it. And they sent C.J. Anderson up through the middle, and he's just bowling over people. It's ridiculous.
It was
See where,
crazy.
you see where the weakness is. It's in the middle of the defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
On that in that defensive front, that's where the weakness is, in the middle, and you need to shore that up. Everything else is going to take care of itself. You got Cooper and Cobb and Ezekiel, and you got your offensive line. That's going to take care of itself. What you need to do is start shoring up this daggum defense. Don't worry about what quarterback we're going to get in the draft or whatever. You can get one out of free agency. He'll come along sometime during the season.
Mm-hmm.
You can pull in there. Cooper Rush, he's go, because there's no reason for him to even be around. And that young kid, just let him sit in the back and learn. That's all you
You're
got to
talking
do.
about the Mike White, right?
Yeah, Mike White. Just let him sit in the back. Just let him sit back there like Romo did and learn.
Mm-hmm.
He might be something. He might not be something. We'll find out.
Oh, yeah.
You just got to develop him.
We want to see him ball out during the training camp and preseason.
Oh, yeah.
He can throw the ball through a keyhole. He's very accurate, and he got the
Yeah.
measurables and the size. I saw a picture on Twitter that him and Dak Prescott, they hang out together. They go to the games together.
Yep.
So that's leadership too. Picking up those
Exactly.
traits.
He's evaluating his backup too. he's evaluating his backup too. You talk about all the time. Evaluation, 24/7, 24 hours a freaking day, 7 days a week.
Mm-hmm. Always
Constantly
looking at turning
evaluating
over
all the
every
time.
stone. And that's what I like. Stephen Jones, he came out with saying that, hey, player evaluation never ends. And that's something different. With Will McClay and Chris Hall and all those guys, they really looking up everything they can find. And we would sit back and say, what is going on with this guy? Who is Antoine Barbecue Woods? And then all of a sudden he just flashes and we see something like, wow.
It just boom. Yeah, where this cat come from? See,
Right.
that's the thing. That's the beauty of what Will McClay brings to the organization.
Mm-hmm.
He can find them players, and he can find the players, get them out there on the field, and whether it's defensive or offensively, especially defense. You got Marinelli there, you got Richard there. That's a match made in heaven, and Richard's going to get what he can. He's going to bring out the best in the defense. He's going to bring out the best in defense. He came from that Legion of Boom, and then they broke that all up. So bring it on to Dallas.
Bring it on
That's
to
what we
Dallas.
need.
And people fail to realize this, too. Now it's going to be his second year into the folds. So everything is going to be marginally and percentage-wise better as far as those DBs and those corners and all those guys that playing in the backfield.
Exactly. And he knows who he can put out in what situation, what defensive setup he wants out there, whether it's a 46, whether it's whether it's zone or whatever. And just get it set up. And I want to hear what anybody got to say about Joe Thomas. You think we should be even keeping him around?
Joe Thomas is going to be depth purposes. I think that they're going to still try to fight for that sound positioning there. I like March. Was it March Lillard?
Yeah, March Lillard. Yeah.
Yes, don't sleep on him. And it's another thing, guys. Don't sleep on Kayvon Frazier sliding over there playing on that side of the field. He had a shoulder injury all last year, dislocated shoulder. The last game that he played was the Indianapolis Colts. So hopefully when he gets his, all his plan affairs together and get that good bill of health, maybe we can see him down there on that same side. Who knows?
Need somebody to start laying the lumber. And every defensive man, every player that they put out there on the defense needs to be somebody to lay the lumber and get to the quarterback and push that offensive line back, push them guards and them I mean, to push them guards and tackles out, collapse that pocket, force the quarterback out of there, or force him to make a stupid move. Force him to make a stupid move. We can go back to the Lions game they played, and they had Matthew Stafford running for his ever-loving life. And you can go back to 2016, and the defense was, David Irvin steady back there in the backfield on Jameis Winston. Them's the kind of players, those the kind of ballers we need on defense. Those are the kind of ballers, and everybody can complain and whine about this money situation with D-Law. It's going to get settled. He's going to one of two choices. He's either going to sign a franchise tag or get a nominal amount of money close to. It's a matter of $2.5 billion. Split it down the middle and run with that. They're going to get me. They can get it done. It's just he needs to start to come to terms, and he start talking to his agent. Yeah, he's still going to get paid. He's still going to get paid, but hey, I'm not trying to leave it. I'm not trying to leave it, and it's just going to hurt us in the long run. Even if they don't pay him the money, it's still going to hurt us in the long run because we're not going to have that end. We're not going to have that end on that left side. I believe plays left side. They're going to have that end over there, still paying off that Carr deal, which I have no idea why they picked up Carr anyway from Kansas City. They should have left him there, but that's neither here nor there. That's old news. That's old news.
Yes, indeed,
but,
man.
All right, Law, I got to get out of here. I got to get back to work.
No worries, man. Really appreciate you for calling in to the nation, man. Just be safe out there, and hey, free to call in at any time. Salute, brother.
You betcha. Right. Out.
Salute. That's what I'm talking about. Good call right there. Thank y'all, you guys, man, for tuning in to the nation, man, as we begin to rock and roll and get on out of here. Really do appreciate each and every last one of you all. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to listen in and tune in to the nation. Let me know if you like the call-in number, too. Let me know if you like to do those things. Call in and listen to other callers, get other opinions and points of views out there. But I can't stress this out enough, right? One day at a time, one day at a time. One off-season move at a time. Yes, indeed. We out. Peace. Good show. Good show. Appreciate y'all. Love and adulation for the nation. Let's go grind. Let's go get this Super Bowl ring. We got to grind to shine.